thanks again for joining us on yet another edition of Uncharted Waters TV. I'm your host, Bobby Wilson, and today we're going to be scouting for a place to fish in the backwaters of one of the largest watersheds in the United States. I appreciate your valuable time in watching, and this might be a good one. Stay tuned. Folks, today we are flying over one of the nation's largest watersheds. It happens to be located in my home state of South Carolina. It's called Santee Cooper. It consists of 171,000 acres of water, and the system has been changed over the years. We're currently flying over Lake Marion, which is also called the Upper Lake. And the Corps engineers back in the 40s built this lake. And of course, the main reason it was built, the upper lake was strictly a reservoir for the lower lake, and power was generated off of the lower lake, which is called Lake Moultrie. And they cleared the lower lakes. It was the old Santee riverbed, and they cleared all the cypress trees out of it, and they started clearing the upper lake. And the war came, the war of the early 1940s. They were in a hurry to get power, so they went ahead and flooded the upper lake, and the timber was left in the middle of the lake because they just got to the edge of each side. They were working their way towards the middle. The standing timber that you're seeing in this upper lake, with Lake Marion, creates just wonderful nesting grounds for ospreys. Lake Marion has one of the largest concentrations of osprey of anywhere in the United States of America. The upper lake consists of about 110,000 acres, and the lower lake, or Lake Moultrie, consists of about 60,000 acres. But today we're going to try to find some backwaters that aren't fished that heavily.
Man, well, little rascal. Oh, he gave it back to me, a quick release. Wow, well, that was kind of interesting. See if there's another one in there. If there's one under there, how in the world could he stand it? He'd have to come out and eat it, wouldn't he? These laydowns, old tree used to be on the bank, fell over because of a storm or something that goes all the way out in the middle of the river. Those fish sometimes will get on the back side of these logs where the water comes over them and makes a little eddy. They'll get right in that eddy where they don't have to fight the current so much and just sit there and wait for something to come by. That's a fresh tree there. You can tell the storm just blew it over because of those green limbs. Golly bum, I figured one would be there. And I sure enjoy watching them hit this Ozara spook if they're on it. A lot of times old big fish will come up and grab this thing. There he is. I'm talking about speaking of the devil. Come on, baby. Don't you get hung up in that bush. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Think my line's over the bush. There he comes. That's a grunnel. Well, I'll be darned. An old mudfish. You're kind of mad at me, aren't you, boy? That frog give you more than you wanted. This is one of the older species of fish around, and they will cut a fool. When he gets in the boat, it's going to be hectic. As I said, this is kind of like a prehistoric fish. It looks, they call them locally a mudfish. And take a look at this fish real quick before we turn it loose. See the head on it? Look at the tail system. That's why they're so strong. They got that big dorsal fin. And one of the older fish that's ever. I think this thing's almost prehistoric, but there's a bunch of them in the waters in the southeast. Called a grunnum. Good fight. See you later. Well, it's a slow start, but it's a start.